There's success and failure. And if you failed and reassess so it doesn't happen again, that's perfectly okay. But instead of people say, that may be what it is. Maybe people are so afraid to say they failed, they'll say they tried. Maybe that's what it is. And when people fail, they don't know how to turn that into a positive. So when they fail, they get all down on themselves and the snowball goes downhill. They think they're a fucking loser and then they don't ever turn around. They don't ever make anything out of themselves because they failed, because they don't know how to take that failure and turn it into a reflection of, okay, this is what I need to do next time. People don't know how to do that. So instead they just say they tried and then they shrug it off and walk on and never fucking do anything. Welcome everybody. It's Mind Muscle Connection, episode 40. This episode we talk about how trying is not an excuse. When people say they're trying, they're pretty much setting themselves up for failure. Instead of trying, what are these people actually doing and how can they use that as a positive outcome? Also, don't forget, go to nlpwarrior.com and sign up for our seminar about getting rid of bad habits. It is February 11th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 3 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. You won't want to miss it. So without further ado, here is episode 40. Enjoy. What's up, guys? My Muscle Connection, episode 40. Please excuse my voice. I'm just recovering from being sick this week. I haven't got my voice back all the way, but feeling a little better. There was something going around. I don't know. It wasn't COVID, but I caught it. And, I still managed to train and everything and eat fine. I just felt like shit, but as long as I Dayquil'd it. But so my voice is a little raspy. So excuse me for that.
It's COVID and then some. It's flu season out here, so we got that going on too.
Yeah, and it's actually been pretty kind of chilly for Hawaii standards in the mornings, around 60, 70 degrees, and like you actually have to defrost your windshield, so that means it's getting pretty bad. So,
right.
Before we get into the topic, I want to go ahead while everybody's just fresh listening in. Is that February 11th, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time is the seminar. The first one we're having.
8 p.m. 8 p.m. Yeah.
8 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. And to register, go to nlpwarrior.com. Akira, go ahead and give us a brief on that real quick, guys.
Sure. So, Jed started us off by saying, something's going around. Obviously, we know what's going around. And I know it's probably hit a lot of people really bad. And I know what comes along with it, the baggage that comes along with it. Can't go to the gym, can't do whatever you like, can't go to the restaurant, can't go to the cafe, can't meet your friends, can't hang out more than 5 people. That's a big no-no. I get that. And it's really, really frustrating. It's put all our habits, our good habits, at a standstill. It's frozen in time. So what we're here to do is to give you the keys to break the bad habits that have formed over this stupid pandemic period and really break through all of that, break those walls, and get back on track to the good life, the life that you had before this. And if you had a life that was not so good before this, well, even better, because we're going to give you the tools so you can make your life even better. So the idea is to break those bad habits, give COVID the finger, and really establish yourself as a person who can go forward with these tools that we're about to give you in the seminar. Well, we're going to talk about that in the seminar, but it's going to be amazing. You're going to learn what we do, right, professionally. You're going to learn what Dibs does on a daily basis. You're going to learn what Jed does, and you're going to learn what I do. So it's a great way to get to know us and also to get the information about what we do so that we can help you get to where you need to be.
I think another thing we need to address with that is the fear that's been put into over all this period. And it's going to carry over because now we're being, instead of, oh, he's sick, just go in, it's no big deal. Now it's like somebody's sick and everybody freaks the hell out. And I think that's going to condition people to be less likely to go out and go after things as restrictions are lifted. Mm-hmm. So all I'm going to say is do unbiased research, weigh your risks, observe with your own 2 eyes in your head instead of what you're being told. And then if this is something you really want, it's worth the risk of getting out of your house, getting around people, fine. If not, you might need to reassess a few things mentally. So that's one thing that I am starting to see is people are not only in fear of things they should be in fear of, but they're also in fear of about everything else, because that's what's been the broad subject of the past 2 years is fear, 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 fear. So now we're letting that spill over into everything else. So I'm not telling people to risk their lives. I'm not telling them to go out or whatever. I'm just saying the risk to reward ratio, do your research, make a conscious, intelligent decision if it's something you really want to do. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I want to say, stop listening to the fucking news. I don't care how controversial that is, but, I'll tell you, the news has been a fear monger for years and years and years. It's nothing but pumping negativity and bullshit into people. That needs to stop, but we're not going to get too political here. I'm just saying, like Jed says, do your own research.
Yeah. And I'll say,
go ahead.
It's gotten to the point to where the news will say sky's green and people will be like, oh, okay, without going out and look with your own eyes. Like, go out and observe with yourself and see if it's matching what you're hearing. If not, throw up that question mark. That's all you got to do.
Right.
So, without anything else, I want to ask you guys what you think about when somebody says they're trying. Because a lot of this shit that I get mad about is like me from like past trauma, past experiences, things that I used to do. All right, I'm not going to lie. I get pissed about a lot of shit when somebody says something because I've done it and I've used that excuse. So when somebody says try, it kind of triggers me a little bit because I don't even, it's such a gray thing, but for me, I'm like, there isn't a try. You did it or you didn't. Why didn't you? There's success and failure. And if you failed and reassess so it doesn't happen again, that's perfectly okay. But instead of people say, that may be what it is. Maybe people are so afraid to say they failed, they'll say they tried. Maybe that's what it is. And when people fail, they don't know how to turn that into a positive. So when they fail, they get all down on themselves and the snowball goes downhill. They think they're a fucking loser and then they don't ever turn around. They don't ever make anything out of themselves because they failed, because they don't know how to take that failure and turn it into a reflection of, okay, this is what I need to do next time. People don't know how to do that. So instead they just say they tried and then they shrug it off and walk on and never fucking do anything.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Dibs, you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
Go ahead, Dibs.
So I think there's two ways of looking at the street. Jed, I agree with you 100%. I think when you people use, well, I tried, when you say you're going to try, you're allowing yourself a caveat to fail. There's that's basically what it means. However, for argument's sake, and just another frame of looking at it, you also need to try different things to find out what you like. For example, for me, golf, right? I tried golf. I went out with my buddies. They played every weekend. I didn't have an interest in it, but I said, you know what? I'm going to go try golf. I went out, I played for 20 minutes and I said, this shit is not for me. Actually, my words were stupid fucking game, right? But I tried it. I didn't like it. I didn't want to like it. I tried CrossFit. Believe it or not, I did CrossFit 10 years ago. I tried it, but I didn't like it. You have to try different things, try everything actually. And really, and I always tell people, try to really give it a chance. But if you just know in your heart that this shit is not for you, accept, hey man, this shit ain't for me. Like artistry, that shit ain't for me. I tried to draw a Pikachu once. It did not look like a fucking Pikachu. Right? You ever watch Bob Ross on TV?
I fucking love Bob Ross, man.
I remember sitting there, right? 13 years old. I had a little paint kit and I was trying to mimic exactly what he did.
Put some Betty White.
Right? I didn't get that shit. I ever show you guys this? I think I did. Here, guys. Here's me. Here's me trying to paint. Okay. You know what that is?
That's not bad. That's not bad. Well, what is it?
That's me trying to paint. I don't know what the fuck that is. Right? It was supposed to be a stadium stairs that people were going to go run up. Look, there's a little happy tree. couple happy clouds, but guess what? I said, I really did not like this. And I moved on, you know, and then I found what worked for me. And then now if I found what I loved, I found what I love to do. And I became obsessed with it. And that's why trying no longer became an option. I said, this is what I love. So I think you have to try to find what you love. But once you find what you love and you're crazy about it, then that's when you push that envelope as far as you can.
My opinion is very similar to Dibs. I was actually going to talk about that because I think there's a difference between trying a new experience, like you said, Dibs. There's a difference between trying a new experience and then actually when you're in the middle of something that you're absolutely passionate about and you keep saying you're trying and then you're giving up halfway, where you've never gone to the full extent of it to actually know what the results are going to be. So my take on this is, if you find something that you absolutely want, now I'm going to draw a line here. There's a want and there's a need, and then there's something that you love. When it's something that you love, the word try doesn't even exist because you just do it without even thinking. You love it absolutely to death. I'm passionate about what I do as a coach. I don't try. I just do because that's something I'm super passionate about. Now, if there's a need for something, for example, if you're going through a health issue and there's a need for you to recover from that health issue and you're on a course, let's say it's a medical course or some type of recovery program or rehabilitation program, the word try, put it this way, if you don't try, you're not going to recover. You're going to go back to your unhealthy self, right? So there's a difference between using the word try when it's something that you love, something that you want, and there's something that you need. If it's something that you want, you really want it, well, good luck with that if you're going to say try, because you know what? You can try all you want, but you're going to give up halfway through that shit and it's going to kaput, right?
Yeah, saying try may even be a reflection of how much you actually want it. If somebody really wanted to do it, I don't think they would be like, well, I'll try.
Exactly.
That.
Yeah.
How many times I've been trying to compete for 10 years and you know, I'll kind of try bodybuilding. Like I dove in and haven't stopped. It's just, I'm not, I mean, it's I don't know. And I definitely don't have a problem saying I failed multiple times, and that's how I learned. But when I first got into it, I never said, I'll try being a trainer. I'll try bodybuilding. Like I said, this is it. I fucking got right in, balls deep, you know? So,
yeah. So my question to you, Jed, is when you come across clients that say that they're trying, how do you approach that situation? How do you get them from that state of mind to something that's a little bit more motivating?
When I write them a plan, they say they're going to try. I'm like, why try? It's right there. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Like what's there to try? Like you fucking do it. Like it's not going to be any easier for you than it is right now. I am telling you from wake up to going to sleep, exactly what to do step by step. What is there to try? If there's something you cannot do, then we'll reassess and see why and fix that. But there isn't this, because when I hand you, like, if you're used to eating twice a day and I give you 3 meals, you say, well, I'll try. That means you're probably going to you're already setting up your mind to get 1 and fuck off the other 2 because you don't want to do it. It's just, I just don't like that mentality. So when they start using that word, I kind of nicely put pressure on them. I'm like, it's right here what to do. What is there to try? You just do it. Like these aren't things you have not done before. You have eaten before. You have cooked before. So these aren't new things. Now, when it comes to trying in the working out in the gym, I'm going to take you through that. So you're going to be okay. And we'll see how far you can go and push further. But this like, well, I'll try to make it to the gym. No. You get in your car, you drive your ass to the gym. There's no try. Trying me, I'm a little tired. I don't know if I want to go. Like you're already, like he says, the caveat is setting you up for failure.
True, but also trying could also make you a little more, depending on the person. I think sometimes trying your best could also make you a little more reckless abandon to make you go all out. All right. So hear me out. In 2016, I was doing the first ever Classic Physique National Championships, right? And I remember this was after the Ferrigno Legacy, and I was talking to Mike, and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about maybe, giving nationals a shot. And he's like, okay. And I was kind of like, my heart kind of dropped when he said okay to that, because I didn't think I didn't think I was ready for that level, man. I just did. This is my first big one in the NPC, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm training to go against the best in the country. And I met another trainer, Sean Calder, right? I met him in the locker room, and he's like, "You gonna do nationals?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot." And he got really mad at me. He's like, "I hate hearing that. You're gonna go there to win." And I was like, and in my mind, the first thing I said was, "This is my first time ever competing at that level. I don't know nothing about that level. I don't know anything. I just know that there is a chance that I can win." So when I say, hey, I'm going to try my best, that means I'm going to do everything I'm supposed to do. I'm not going to get upset if I lose. I'm going to eat every meal, and I'm going to give every about of effort, because this is my best at that level. And since I don't know anything about it, you can't create any expectations.
Yep.
So when I said I'm going to give it a shot, and that's what I did, and I ended up getting first call outs in the first one, but I had no expectations. So if used in the right frame,
yeah,
I think that it can be very beneficial. And I'm not saying, well, I'm going to try. Is, hey, I'm going to try my best. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, but I'm going to find out.
That's the difference, though. Your level of trying, like you say you try, but when you describe what you're going to do, those are the actions of somebody that's going to win. When you say you're going to eat all your meals, you're going to do all your training, that's what a winner does. That's not what a trier does. So when you're saying try, but then you verbally say the things you're going to do, that's what somebody does when they have the mindset of going in to win.
Right.
So it's like your standard is higher up, and not everybody does that.
But if I were to say I'm going to go there to win, and you don't, it could really, I think, fuck you up. And I think I kind of had that pressure put on me this last year, where I would go to a show and I'm going to try my best. I'm going to do the best I got. And then now I had the pressure from everybody else. You got this. You're going to win. Come on, bro. Like, dude, I got a spot in Vegas, bro. You can come move in, for Olympia. And I'm like, I'm not even qualified. So I went from, hey, I'm going to try my best to, oh my God, I have to win or else. And the moment you start going with this, I have to win attitude, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
Right? So now, you stop playing to win. Now you start playing to not lose.
Probably do some crazy shit that'll fuck you up at that point too, with that mentality. Like that's where I've seen people that will do the dumbest shit last minute when they had everything going in their favor, because they get that I can't lose mentality. And they start worrying over nothing, even if they got it. Yeah. They'll do some crazy shit at that point.
That's what athletes go through, right? That's exactly what athletes go through. They have this mentality of like, I have to win against the next champion.
Yep.
It's like they've won a match. Yeah. They won a match before. They've got it in their heads. Now that pressure's on them, and it's no longer a matter of try. It's like, I have to fucking win this, or else my reputation goes into the fucking garbage.
You see a lot of this in college football. If you have a team, like, I'm an Ohio State fan. I watch Ohio State a lot. They'll play a decent team like Michigan State, beat them, and then play a shitty team. The shitty team starts to score on them. Now the pressure's on. Oh my God, we can't lose. And they'll either win by little or they'll lose. Right. Yeah. Alabama plays to win every fucking time. They play to win every game. So anybody who beats Alabama is like winning the Super Bowl to them, because they don't play to not lose. They play to win every fucking game. And fortunately, I got to know the one of the defensive coordinators of Alabama. I'm actually friends with them, and they're really good at. They said one of the biggest things that they push on or Saban is letting go. Right, mm-hmm. They make a bad play, they just let it go. You know what I mean? They don't stress about it. They get pissed, but the moment the play is over, you get pissed. Okay, what's the next play? Being able to let go of your failures and your mistakes is what keeps you focused on that let's go win attitude, and not the oh my god we fucked up and that's going to be it.
I just had this conversation this morning before I came on. Some things happened and threw a person off course, and they were like, I don't know what to do. I was like, the plan's right there. It tells you exactly what to do. Just stop overthinking and get back on it. Mm-hmm. And when I was talking to them, they were telling me what their next few days already planned. They already had it handled, but they were letting that one slip up like cloud everything in their head. And I was like, you already, then I told them right before I came on, I said, sounds like you already got this under control. Just, event by event, and you're good. You're already on track, So sometimes, that one slip up, I do think in some cases you do need to let go because there's things that do just happen. Also, I want to ask, but I was thinking like when you're the winner, let's say you're Mr. Olympia, right? The only person you really have to beat at that point is yourself. So that's a really shit spot to be in mentally because you're like, do I do the same thing that won last year? Or do I have to get ready for something I haven't seen yet? And do I need to change the game plan to come in better? And sometimes that changing the game plan to come in better could be what causes their downfall. So, when you're always the champion or something, and people are chasing you and you do have that pressure, do you think it could cause you to try to reinvent the wheel? Because, there is a chance that doing the same thing every year will eventually set you up for failure too. It could go either way.
Phil Heath actually spoke about this. Exactly what Phil Heath has said. He says it's not Phil Heath versus Kai Green. He goes, I have to beat all of them. See, Phil Heath knew that, and this is one of my what I'm always trying to tell people is I hate the you versus you attitude.
Yeah.
Okay? Because it is you versus you. It's you versus you where you have to make sure you eat your meals. You wake up to train. You do this. But it's also you versus them. Somebody out there is trying to beat you right now, right? That moment you take a rest break, somebody else is pushing harder. People like Phil Heath knows that. That's why he was able to win 7 years in a row because he knew I can't just beat myself. I beat myself. I have to beat Kai Green, who's coming after me, and he's making no excuses. And that's the mentality I always liked. I hate you versus you because to me, that's almost like an excuse type thing.
No,
it's me versus me. As long as I'm a little bit better than I was last year, which is what you want to be. You want to be better than what you were last time. But sometimes, can you have been even more better?
Well, when you're
up a little earlier,
you're trying to beat other people too. If you're like you versus you, it's like you're trying to beat these other people. Let's be realistic. But what I'm trying to, because I don't like the you versus you, and I tell people if you're going to compete, don't do that. Well, I'm better than last year because you still weren't better than everybody else on stage, and that's where the fucking problem is. But
yes,
my thing is when you are the top guy, there is this battle versus you because you're like, do I do the same shit that's been winning because I've already beaten all these guys and they're doing, or do I try to do something different in case someone gets an edge on me? Now you have this battle of fuck. Do I reinvent the wheel or do I keep doing what I'm doing? That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
That can put you in a shit spot.
So I don't know. I think that's where coaching comes in. I think, Chris Bumstead, I'm even thinking Chris Bumstead's coach probably looks at your weak points and says, well, you can still develop here, here, and here. Here's where they would have beaten you. You're always going to develop where I think at his level, like you're perfect with flaws because there's always going to be spots to develop and work on that you're going to have to bring in. So I think that you just, at that point, you just work on your weak points and where you could be beaten and try to develop. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not that level. So,
Yeah, I can tell you from a different perspective, being a coach and being one of the head coaches in another Facebook group, the thing with that is people expect something new and different every single time. Every single time. It's like, did you know this? You've been on that group. They ask question after question after question to the coach. And every single time, if they find you repeating your material, it's going to get redundant. And so there's that battle that you have to face. It's like, okay, do I come up with something totally new, or do I just start going back to the material I had and then rehashing it and then just regurgitating it out onto the group? So there's that inner conflict that I come across too. And I can tell you, there's that moment where you think to yourself, okay, well, I'm here now, but what is it that I'm actually trying to do with this? So just to get, to take a leaf out of Dibbs's book, it's not just you versus you, it's you versus them. But from my perspective, it's you for them. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like you're trying to do something I'm talking from a coach perspective. I'm not talking from a performance perspective. as a coach, we're trying to do something constantly for the people that we're healing. There's that level of expectation that comes along with it. But as long as you understand what your clients need, what your students or clients need, do you have a better understanding of how to overcome that moment where you're like, okay, I'm stuck here. I don't know what to do anymore. So you're constantly looking out for things where you can improve with other people. That's just my perspective as a coach. I don't know if that gives some insight into what you're talking about, Jed, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, as far as the rehashing stuff as a coach, when you're coaching a group of people, like, you just have to assess what the biggest problem is. And if it's the same thing, then you got to go over the same shit.
Yeah, I've done that.
And yeah, I mean, I come across the same issue, and I have different people at different levels. So that all depends on what they're going through and what they need to hear at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I get that. If it's as long, I mean, especially if it's someone that's absolutely new to the whole thing, right? They don't understand A to Z and they're trying to get that information. Yeah, then the rehashing works. But if it's someone that's been with you for a while now and they're constantly expecting results from whatever you're teaching and whatever material you're bringing to the table, there's a point where they'll get bored with the teacher. They're going to be like, well, tell me something new.
I know. Yeah. But that's, if it's working, it's working, that's the thing. Effectiveness. Right. I always do. I want to do what works. So what works? That's it. Does this work? Yeah. All right, let's do it. Very, very simple. A simple means to get to the results.
I get, it's fine. I can relate that to what I'm currently doing with workout plans right now. I used to try to be fancy and change shit up all the time, but a couple of weeks ago, I stopped doing that. And I said, you guys need to be focusing on, are you getting better at these lifts than what new workouts are coming out the next week? Yep. So that's what we're fucking doing. So your deadlift, bench, squat, all that's there. You need to be, even if it's 5 pounds more or 1 rep more the next week, that needs to be your focus, not what cool fucking exercise you're going to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a bad habit for especially bodybuilders want to get into, is they always want a new workout. And I'm like, how about we train until this muscle gets developed? And then once it stops developing, or we reach a plateau, then we'll change it. We'll shock it. Akira, I know exactly what you're saying, in which the client always looks for something new. And I have some of my athletes always asking me too, like, hey, do I start phase? Because I do my trainings like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Phase 1 is getting the muscle ready. Phase 2 is really intense. And phase 3 is like a giant sets training, right? And then they're over and they're like, new workout program. And I get, it's not just one, but I get this often, like, new workout program. I'm like, no, man, go back to phase 1 again. See how much stronger you are. You know what I mean? Like, this is your strength. Start over and focus on now pushing at a different level.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't want to pay for that. Now that just comes issue with the client. They'll say to themselves, well, why am I paying you if I've already done this? Well, you're paying me.
That's exactly what I've come across.
Monitor your tracking, making sure your form is right, making sure your ego doesn't get to you. I can say the 2 biggest enemies of a bodybuilder are ego and momentum. Last thing you want to do is swing weights. And I see that I'm starting to see way too much. And ego, putting on more weight than you should be, and then just trying to get the reps in. And we all fall into that. Every single one of us have been ego, our lifter, and we try to get momentum. And then it's just like, hey, this is not helping. That's where discipline comes in, and that's where coaching comes in.
Sometimes I remind people, you don't always pay me to tell you what to do. Sometimes you pay me to tell you what not to do. And right now you need to not be focusing on new shit. You need to keep doing this. You need to when don't, like, for instance, don't change anything, because what if I wasn't here and you wanted to change this because, for no reason, then you start fucking everything up. So sometimes I'm here to tell you, all right, Dibs, what's going on here? Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
I thought he was, I was going to say something, but no.
No. I thought I saw something moving, man.
It's a nice chest, Dibs. Nice breasts. It's good.
Sometimes we're here to tell you, hey, because people need that voice of reason telling them, stay the course, don't change shit. That can be one of the most important pieces of advice you could ever hear.
Right.
And we're also being hired to do that as well.
Yeah, I do that with Mike sometimes. I'm like, Mike, can we change this up? No. All right. You know what I mean? But I've worked long enough to where he knows if I need to change something up. And he's a very man of short words. So, but hey, I've been doing this, and this. I'm working on this, and this, and then I'm doing this and this and this. And you get a text back with a thumbs up, and you're like, all right, well, that's it. Keep going, I guess.
Yeah, there's people like that. I know people like that. They just, there's something about that energy. It's like, it's so powerful. The one word answers are just thumbs so up. Powerful. It's like thumbs up. Okay, that's it. Enough said. You know what to do. Go for it.
I can tell you stories about being in that office and he's been quiet and then come out and said that one thing to where I've had to walk out because I want to start laughing or something like that. Because he just, I mean, when he's quiet, like eating his turkey burgers and shit, like, and he says something, it'll hit you out of nowhere. So it's funny sometimes because sometimes he says it and you're like, dude, I can't believe you fucking said that. It just comes, it's funny if you know the guy. So I definitely got a few stories about that from probably before you were starting over there.
It's funny because I quoted Mr. Miyagi, but I wasn't sure if it was actually him or Mr. Miyagi. I said it to someone, I was like, it's okay to lose your opponent. It's okay to never lose a fear. I'm like, I'm not sure if that was Mike or Mr. Miyagi. I'm like, I'm not sure. It's one of them. Either way, it's one of them too.
Yeah. He's let's see.
Have you guys watched that Cobra Kai episode yet? I'm just curious. The new season.
You know what? I've been trying to watch that shit. Well, I'm using the word try.
Not try. Either do it or don't.
I will do it. I will do it. I will fucking watch it because I was a fan of Karate Kid, so this has got me curious. I wanted to, if you don't mind me talking, Jed, for a bit, I just wanted to go over something that's really irritating. And I'm trying to be as non-judgmental as possible. But, you know, going back to trying, you also get clients that hoard knowledge and they don't do shit with it. They just keep asking and keep asking and keep asking. And I'll ask them, well, have you tried it? They say, no. I said, why haven't you done it yet? Oh, it's just, I haven't had any time to do it. So there's the other end of the spectrum where there's people, you give them a program, but they just don't do anything with it. They're just knowledge junkies. They'll take all the material, they'll eat it up, they'll swallow it, they'll know shit from it. They'll even come up with stuff that even you didn't know about. But have they applied it? No. And so I want to talk about those type of people. Have you run into those type of people in your professional career?
Yes, they want to just show off how much they know. They don't actually care about the application. They're getting off of the fact that they know this much. And I had to deal with it from the other end of the spectrum where they don't know shit, but they actually do know shit. I was on the ship. I was walking through, going to the ATM on the ship, right? And this Marine comes up and he goes, no, your body can only digest 30 grams of protein at a time and it shits the rest out. That he was very serious about it. That's it, only 30. So I said, only 30? I asked him, he says, yes, only 30 grams of protein. I was like, so you're telling me that Big Ramy at 241 pounds and that guy over there at 119 pounds, both of them only can digest 30 grams of protein. And he's like, well, I read this on bodybuilding.com and it said, no. See, what you misunderstood is it takes 30 grams of protein to activate the mTOR in your cells to start the muscle building process. Doesn't mean your body can only digest 30. You can have 60 grams of protein. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you're going to digest that either. Some people can and can't. Digestion is this whole other realm. But some people think that because they read something somewhere, right? And I was a huge victim of this when I first started. I was the worst. A pound of bacon a day telling people I need the protein and fat for energy and educating people on shit I didn't know nothing about. But because I read an article about it, it has to be true on bodybuilding.com because this guy is a certified trainer who wrote something. It's got to be true. So I hoard all this energy, this knowledge, bullshit knowledge. And I was trying to tell people about it, but the applications didn't even work. I was getting fat. So I had to deal with the other side of the spectrum. People don't know shit and thought they knew shit. And I used to be one of them.
I see people start asking a lot of questions. Well, I'll get people that want to see how I'll do a program for them and they'll pay the one-time write-up and I write it up and I give them the info and they say, oh, okay. You know, and someone will admit, like, I just want to see how you would do it versus the other guys so I could see what to do. I was like, that's fine. I'll have people that will want to hire me for the long term, and they'll look at my program and they'll start trying to poke holes in it. Like, well, you said that you figure out diets like this, but if that's true, wouldn't my numbers be this for my macros? And wouldn't I be doing this protein and this? And I'm like, okay, you're already trying to find a reason not to do this because you're not ready. So you do not pay me. I'll take them out because I put them in a share folder so I can kick them out whenever I want.
Yeah.
Like, no more plans for you. Go on your way because you're iffy on the fence about it and you're trying to talk yourself out of it because you're not fucking ready. So yeah, that's usually when they start trying to regurgitate knowledge and try, well, why don't you do this and do that? Well, none of your, number one, none of your fucking business, because right now you need to listen because you haven't done anything to show that you're even worth my time explaining how I do things. And number two, I do this because it works. I mean, you can't, and this is the thing, I don't ever chase people down. You came to me, so obviously I did something to catch your eye. So why are you questioning me before you even try it out?
This actually came from, I'll tell you why I mentioned this. This was during the time I spent as a dating coach. This is back when I was on that Facebook group and working with men and boys even, 19-year-old kids. And there was this one guy. So I would do live broadcasts every Wednesday at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. my time, Eastern time. I would do live broadcasts and we would talk about different topics. And then there was this one guy, he was a regular. He would come on right on the dot, 8 o'clock, he's there. He's the first one to enter the fucking room. And he starts reaffirming everything that I'm talking about in terms of communication, body language, posture, tonality, the way you talk to women, all kinds of stuff. I was going over a topic and he would reaffirm and even add knowledge to what I was talking about. So I thought, okay, this guy knows his shit. So I said, okay, I'm going to give this guy a 20-minute consult because it seems like he needs some help in, certain areas. And he agreed. He was like, yeah, sure. I'll do a 20-minute consult with you. So I pick up the phone and talk to this dude. Really very low voice, very conservative, very nervous. I'm like, so I'm not going to mention his name. I'm just like, so Mr. X, you, have you tried any of the stuff that we've talked about? Because you seem to know a lot. He's like, no, I live in my mom's basement and I'm currently unemployed. And I just, I haven't gotten out of the house to do any of this. Just have a bunch of books. I've been going to this website, which is like a discounted price on all the products that you've released. I'm like, you're fucking shitting me right now. So you're saying, let me understand you correctly. You're saying you've never tried a single thing of what we've talked about over the past 6 months. He's like, yeah, I just haven't had the time. I just find it. So dude, why the fuck are you, trying to be Mr. Know-It-All on the fucking live? That just got me. I was like, what is going on?
He just wants to show you how much he knows. That's
yeah,
it.
But
exactly.
Half the knowledge comes from application, though. Like half the knowledge comes from applying it.
Yeah. But anyways,
at the end of the day, you can't buy experience. I think you can study all day shit, but until you actually go and do it. And I'll tell myself, I'm willing to admit all my weaknesses to people. You know what I mean? I've been trying to read and I've been watch YouTube videos on marketing, advertising. Let me tell you shit. I am the fucking worst. The moment somebody tells me no, I go, okay. And I know I like when it comes to, marketing, I'm trying, we have this business that we're putting together and, I didn't realize how big marketing, this is my third time. I have worked to build an online website, online page, online business. I've done 3. I've done dibsfit.com, kawasakiway.com, which that one's still running. All right. Have not made one sale on that in 2 years. And our new one. And the issue with me is building, organizing, working from the management perspective. Great. Marketing and getting people to, I don't want to say buy in because that's a horrible thing. Getting people to, want to be part of our system. Can't do it. And this is a roadblock in which I'm I hate to say it, but I am trying, and I am learning, but I'm also failing and trying to thing with me is I've got to figure out what works, and that's a big part of trying is finding out the system that works for you. Right. If heavy lifting does not work for you and you're getting hurt, you're trying and trying, maybe you should do time under tension. Maybe you should do just supersets and giant sets. You have to try different things that work. And that's what currently when I find my weaknesses, my weak points, I'm trying different things that work. And eventually I'm going to find my system and be able to use it.
The thing about marketing I've seen is that when a new marketing tactic comes out that works, by the time you've learned about it, it's already burned out. You got to have.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Very true.
Just got to, you know what? Nobody's done this yet, so let me try this and go that route. It's so fucking tricky, man. Like I get irritated with it. I just be my own self and post shit and get mad about stuff every once in a while, and that seems to work for me. Honestly, I mean, you guys see my content, like it's pretty much random and unfiltered, and it works.
Yeah.
So,
but that's what makes it original for Jed, because Jed, you got that. If Johnny Lawrence would do a podcast, it'd probably sound pretty same to yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would.
You have that, that Johnny Lawrence personality type. So a lot of people, like myself, I like to listen to that raw, unfiltered. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna tell you how it is. If you don't like it, fuck you attitude. So you're gonna attract those type of customers. But sometimes the difficulty is attracting those type of customers.
Yeah, it's funny because I've never seen Karate Kid, but when I watched Cobra Kai and the Johnny Lawrence character came in, I was like, why is this guy the bad guy? I like this guy. This dude's pretty on point. So
you never saw the Karate Kid, dude?
No, I never really got into that movie when I was a kid. I didn't watch that one.
Oh God, Jed, man, this is.
Oh, you got to watch it, bro.
If they've got, what's funny is because if like it is an old Japanese guy training a loud Italian kid from Jersey. Where have we heard that story before?
That's
always like even Mike and I know that that's sort of like our relationship. We have that we are the bodybuilding Karate Kid. I'm this loud Italian fucking Jersey guy, and he's this quiet Japanese guy. And it's funny when watching it. Like, honest to God, that's one of two movies that actually make me cry at the end.
Yes,
yeah. Like yes. Every time I watch it, I cry because, I actually got to live that experience. When I won my pro card, I was like, I think one of Mike's first guys ever to, that he started from the bottom to turn pro. So like, yeah, that was like one of the second happiest day of my life.
Wax on, wax off, baby.
That's what it's about. Was Macho in the first two?
Yeah. Three.
Three of them.
There's four Karate Kids. There's Karate Kid 1.
Oh, there is a fourth one. Yes, there is a fourth one.
The next Karate Kid, which who the fuck knows what that was for, but it was just it wasn't that good. It was good. I'd watch it, but it wasn't had nothing to do with the first three. The first three are all great.
Classic, man.
All great.
The first one is probably obviously every movie, the first part of the sequel is always the best one. Everything else that comes after it, it's kind of.
Well, you can't say that about Rocky IV.
Well, yeah, and you can't say that about the Batman Begins trilogy. I think that those were classics.
Yeah.
Fucking Dark Knight Rises, man.
Every Rambo movie was good.
Oh, Rambo was classic. I love Rambo, man.
There's not a bad Rambo movie. Even this last one that came out a few years ago, where he just blew up.
Oh, that was good. I saw that. Yeah, that was a good one. That was That was badass.
He dug some tunnels and took out half of Mexico with some arrow. That shit was great.
I'll never forget First Blood when he stitched himself up. Oh fuck, man, that scene was brutal. Fucking hell, man.
So I'm saying John Rambo versus John Wick.
That was before people started really talking about
John Wick, man.
That was way before people talked about PTSD when he did that movie.
Yeah.
That was why it was such a big deal, because that shows what it could fucking do to you. I mean, that was what the whole movie was about. They started beating him and treating him like shit. And he snapped and he pretty much took over the whole fucking town.
He just wanted to go to a diner. That was it. Just wanted to choose it's like, where's the nearest diner? That's it. That's how the movie starts.
Just want to get my eggs and bacon.
Yeah, that was That was a pretty good, but I saw the most recent one. I was like, dude, this guy just cannot stop winning, man. And now this new Expendables is coming out, and the cast for it just seems out of control. So I know
that's a good example.
Yeah,
that's a good example for not trying and just doing.
I love the Expendables. It's movies, a bunch of people get killed, and like no storyline. You got everything you can want in a movie.
It's like when you have the Hall of Fame. Like if you're a Hall of Fame action hero, you're Hall of Fame by being on Expendables. That's how it is. Because that's what it is. It's like all the big action heroes that have made it go on that movie at some point.
I think.
What if I told you? So I was going to say, what if I told you I've seen every single, I'm talking every single Arnold action movie, every single one of them, you name it, I've seen it. And I'm a huge fan of all of them. For some reason, that guy just has some weird type of charisma on the screen.
His personality in general. His personality in general was very charming, charismatic. I would like to see the Hunger Games with the cast of the Expendables. You're telling me you won't want to see Jackie Chan versus Arnold versus Rambo?
Leave me alone.
He's got Megan Fox and Randy Couture and a few others, and 50 Cent's in this one. So yeah, this one's going to be good. I'm hoping
50 Cent is in fucking.
He's in this one. He's in Expendables 4. I just looked it up. The cast.
Huh? When's that come out?
Let me look. It should be. I think it said March. Let's see.
Curtis Jackson in the Expendables. Damn, son. He's.
You ever watch Power on Hulu?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching that now. See, that's a 10 out of 10 TV show.
I heard
watch on Hulu. Watch the prequel to that. You seen the prequel to that? It's what's it called? The Book of.
The Book of Power, or something like that. Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. We're trying to finish Power. We only watch it on weekends. But it's like definitely the best show I've watched since I think The Sopranos.
Sometime in 2022 is all it says. It doesn't have its date yet.
Okay.
So, but that looks pretty good. All right, you guys got anything else before we call it a day?
No, sir.
Yeah, I do. I just want to say, if you find yourself really doubting your own abilities and your own dedication and determination to do something, there's a few affirmations that you can use to really help you get to that next level. I've used them and it's worked for me. And the first mindset is to go without an outcome. Have no outcome. It's important, right? It's important to understand what it is you want, but keep that in the background because that's where you're trying to get to. You already know the direction you're going in, but don't focus on it. The idea is to focus on the immediate issues that are present that are blocking you to get to that point. And the way to get past that, there's 4 affirmations that I use. One is I can, will, and do choose to learn from every experience that I have, no matter what it is, right? I can either learn from my mistakes or failures. I don't like to use the word failures. I can either learn from my shortcomings or I can learn what to do better so I can get more out of those experiences.
That's my favorite.
Right? The third one is when I don't know what to do, I take my bold step forward. When you don't know what to do, just fucking do it. See what it brings you. Right? And the fourth one is I'm going to do everything in my power. This is something I made up. I'm going to do everything in my power and my ability to get the best results within that ability. It's like you're doing your best, using everything in your power to do it, right? It's going to give you results. Whether it gives you the results that you want, who knows? But at least you're doing everything in your power to do it. That's what counts, right? You're not trying, you're doing.
And on that note, you guys have a good rest of your weekend. We'll be back next Saturday. Don't forget to go to nlpwarrior.com, sign up for the seminar February 11th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. You guys have a good one.
You too, guys.